Hello, my wonderful students, and welcome back to today's class. I'm very excited to go over this book with you all. It actually has to do a lot with something we're learning this week. Who can remind me? Endangered animals and their habitats. That's right. Um, so let's look at the cover of this book. Let's think about what we see and what do we think is going to happen. So, what do you see? A big tree, a lot of plants, animals, a man, and he has an axe. Okay, that's pretty scary, right? I don't want anything bad to happen to these animals. And he's looking at what? What is he looking at? Is he looking at the iguana? Okay. So let's go ahead and read the title of the book now. The Great Kapok Tree. Okay, so you think it's about the tree now? I think it's about the tree as well, right? The tree is big. It's taking a huge part of the cover. So now let's keep reading. It says A Tale of the Amazon Rainforest. Is the Amazon rainforest real? And if it is, where do you think it is? Okay, yes, it's very real. You think it's in Brazil? Oh, and you think it's in Colombia? Okay, what if I tell you it's in both? And it's in a few other countries. Yeah, so I think it's in Peru, it's in Venezuela, Chile, and maybe a few other ones, Ecuador. Um, so considering it's in all of these countries and potentially more, do you think it's big or small? Big, right? And it's actually located in South America, which is not so far from us. So, this book is very interesting, especially since it's very real. It's about something that's right there. It's super real. It's big and it's takes a big portion of South America. So it says by Lynn Cherry. Who do you think Lynn Cherry is? Do you think she's the author, the illustrator? You think she's both? Why? Because it just says Venturi. I agree. So can anyone remind me what the author does? They write the words, yep. And what does the illustrator do? They draw the pictures. Okay, that's right. So let's go ahead and go to the next page. Let me know when everyone's ready. Okay, so two men walked into the rainforest. Moments before, the forest had been alive with sounds of squawking birds and howling monkeys. Now, all was quiet as the creatures watched the two men and wondered why they had come. The larger man stopped. He pointed at the great kapok tree. Then he left. Okay, so in this next photo, this next page, what do we see? The man is still there, but the larger man is not there. It's the same man from the cover, so we're assuming he's the other one. Um, Maybe the smaller man because it says larger. So what else do we see? A jaguar, okay, a snake, a parrot. And look at the tree. Did it look like that already in the cover of the page in the book? No, right? And the man's holding the axe. He's also going like this. What do you think that means? It's too much sun. The jaguar is scaring him. He's like, no, 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 don't hurt me. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the next page. The smaller man took the axe he carried and struck the trunk of the tree. Whack, whack, whack. The sounds of the blows ran through the forest. The wood of the tree was very hard. Chop, chop, chop. The man wiped off the sweat that ran down his face and neck. Whack, chop, whack, chop. Soon the man grew tired. He sat down to rest at the foot of the great kapok tree. Before he knew it, the heat and the hum of the forest had lulled him to sleep. Hmm, he's tired. He's very tired. So, what was he actually doing in the picture? He's wiping off his sweat, right? Yeah, so we were wrong. Um, and he is the smaller man. The larger man left. Okay. Next page. A boa constrictor lived in the kapok tree. He slithered down its trunk to where the man was sleeping. He looked at the gash the axe had made in the tree. Then the huge snake slid very close to the man and hissed in his ear. Señor, I mean, Senhor, this is a tree of miracles. It is my home, where generations of my ancestors have lived. Do not chop it down. So does it sound like he's happy? No, right? Because that's his home. Many generations of his ancestors have lived there, so it must be very important to him, right? And what is he? What's a boa constrictor? Who knows? You think it's a snake? Because it says slither, and it says the snake, and then it says he hissed. Let's see. Let's find out. Let's go to the next page. Ah, so the man is falling asleep, and there's a snake in his ear. So I think that's who it is. And again, he's not happy. There's more animals around now. I see an iguana, a little lizard, and another snake. Okay, so now for the next page. A bee buzzed in the man's sleeping ear. Bzz, bzz, bzz. Senhor, my hive is in this kapok tree, and I fly from tree to tree and flower to flower collecting pollen. In this way, I pollinate the trees and the flowers throughout the rainforest. You see, all living things depend on one another. Bzz, bzz, bzz. Is the bee happy? Nope, he's not happy. That's also his home because he has a beehive in there. He pollinates the trees and he collects the pollen. He goes to every flower. And he says that all living things depend on one another. What do you think is the other living thing that he's depending on? The tree, right? Okay. So if he chops the tree, it's affecting a lot of different animals and habitats, right? So now in the next page, the man is still sleeping, and now there's a bee in his ear, and there's many beautiful butterflies in the picture as well. Let's go ahead and go to the next page. A troop of monkeys scampered down from the canopy of the kapok tree. They chattered to the sleeping man. Senhor, we have seen the ways of man. You chop down one tree and then come back for another and another. The roots of these great trees will wither and die, and there will be nothing left to hold the earth in its place. When the heavy rains come, the soil will be washed away and the forest will become a desert. Now let's go ahead and go to the next page. There's monkeys all over, and still the man is asleep. And then I'm not sure what those other animals are. They look like little otters. But does it seem like the monkeys are happy now? Nope. They're extremely upset. Now let's go to the next page. Okay, so now for the next page. A toucan, a macaw, and a cock of the rock flew down from the canopy. Quack, quack! Senhor, squawked the toucan, you must not cut down this tree. We have flown over the rainforest and seen what happens once you begin to chop down the trees. Many people settle on the land. They set fires to clear the underbrush, and soon the forest disappears. Where once there was life and beauty, only black and smoldering ruins remain. Squawk, squawk! They're very upset, right? Let's go ahead and look at the next page. The man is still asleep. When is he gonna wake up? There's I think there's a beautiful little hummingbird. How cute. And there's birds all over. I see the macaw and I see the cock of the rock. Um yeah, they're not happy. These are saying that they've seen it happen, that it ruins a lot of things, a lot of fires have started, and it's no good for the habitat or the people, right? So now let's go to the next page. A bright and small tree frog crawled along the edge of a leaf. In a squeaky voice, he piped in the man's ear. Senhor, a ruined rainforest means ruined lives, many ruined lives. You will leave many of us homeless if you chop down this great kapok tree. So now the frog is there. Is the frog happy? No, he's still not happy. No one's happy. Many lives are being ruined, right? It and this unfortunately is something that does happen. So let's continue. Let's look at the next page. The man is still sleeping, but now there are a bunch of frogs around him. I see one, two, three, four, five. Let's go ahead and go to the next page. A jaguar had been sleeping along a branch in the middle of the tree. Because his spotted coat blended into the dappled light and shadows of the understory, no one had noticed him. Now he leaped down and paddled silently over to the sleeping man. He growled in his ear, Sanhor, the kapok tree is my home to many birds and animals. If you cut it down, where will I find my dinner? Is this jaguar happy? So, sorry, he said that it's his home. I mean, sorry, that it's home to many birds and animals, not to, well, technically it is his home as well, but now he's worried about his food, his dinner, his prey. So is he happy about it? Nope, he is not. Let's go to the next page. Look at the jaguar, how close it is to his face. I would be scared if that was me. Okay, next page. Four tree porcupines swung down from branch to branch and whispered to the man, Senhor, do you know what we animals and humans need in order to live? Oxygen. And Senhor, do you know what trees produce? Oxygen. If you cut down the forest, you will destroy that which gives us all life. What are the porcupines saying? Do you think they're happy? Nope. They're telling him that it's not only affecting them, animals, but it's affecting humans as well and the habitats. And look at how many animals are affected by that one little act, right? Cutting down a tree, look how many lives it's affecting, how many habitats. So let's go to the next page and look at those little porcupines. There's four, there's one in his ear and three beside him. Next page. Several anteaters climbed down the kapok tree with with their young clinging clinging to their backs. The unstriped anteater said to the sleeping man, Senhor, you are chopping down this tree with no thought for the future, and surely you know that what happens tomorrow depends upon what you do today. That big man tells you to chop down a beautiful tree, he does not think of his own children, who tomorrow must live in a world without trees. Do you think the anteaters are happy? Nope, they're not happy. So now let's go to the next page. And there's the anteaters there. There's one whispering in his ear, and then there's others. And they're not happy because they're saying the same. Um, that little act is going to it's going to become very important in the future, and it's going to make a huge change, right? Okay. A three-toed sloth had begun climbing down from the canopy when the men first appeared. Only now did he reach the ground, plodding ever so slowly sorry, over to the sleeping man. She spoke in her deep and lazy voice. Senhor, how much is beauty worth? Can you live without it? If you destroy the beauty of the rainforest, on what would you Feast your eyes. Let's go to the next page. Do you think the sloth is happy or sad? She's sad, right? She doesn't want it to happen because then all the beauty will go away, which is true. A child from the Yanomamo tribe who lived in the rainforest knelt over the sleeping man. He murmured in his ear, Senhor, when you wake, please look upon us all with new eyes. Again, the man is still asleep, but now let's see what's in the next page. The man awoke with a start. Before him stood the rainforest child, and all around him, staring, were the creatures who depended upon the great kapok tree. Kapok tree. What wonders and where rare animals they were. There's the next page. It's the kid and all the animals. And the man is finally awake. The man looked about and saw the sun streaming through the canopy. Spots of bright light glowed like jewels amidst the dark green forest. Strange and beautiful plants seemed to dangle in the air, suspended from the great kapok tree. The man smelled the fragrant perfume of their flowers. He felt the steamy mist rising from the forest floor, but he heard no sound, for the creatures were strangely silent. The man stood and picked up his axe. He swung back his arms as though to strike the tree. Suddenly, he stopped. He turned and looked at the animals and the child. He hesitated, then he dropped the axe and walked out of the rainforest. So, do you think he heard them? Or do you think he was scared? What do you think? I think he heard them, right? And did he continue to cut the tree? No, he didn't want to. Maybe he knew how many lives he'd be affecting as well as his own, right? So did you like this book? Yep, I liked it too. Thank you. Bye.